10 wins and 1 loss with a point differential of 168. That is the Denver Nuggets record over the last 11 games in which Nikola Jokic has played. And after a slow start to the season, this is the best version of the Denver Nuggets we have seen all year. And for the first time this season, it doesn't feel like Nikola Jokic has to drop a 40-point triple-double just for Denver to scrape a win against teams like Brooklyn and Toronto. And that's because the Nuggets actually look like a team from top to bottom right now. Just take their recent win against Philadelphia, for example, where they put up 144 points to go along with 39 assists and had 5 players score 19 or more points. And just look at some of this team basketball. Like here where Philly are in a zone. So Gordon passes the ball initially to MPJ, who then finds Jokic in the middle of the floor, putting the ball on the floor, and then finding Gordon for the 3. Or again against the zone, with Russ finding Jokic in the middle of the floor, and the quick pass to Brown slipping backdoor for the oop. Oh, and then just in case you forgot, you still have the most dominant play in basketball. Nikola Jokic setting the screen for Jamal Murray, getting the pass in the pocket, and why not throw a no-look lob to the 2-time dunk contest champion? And this is representative of how this team has been playing. Not only have we seen an improved version of Jamal Murray, alongside the greatness of Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook, but those young players who Denver were putting all of their faith into are starting to reward the Nuggets in a big way, with Peyton Watson showcasing all defense level potential on a nightly basis to go along with his athleticism and cutting ability on offense. Then you have Julian Strawther, who is still a work in progress defensively, but at 22 years old, he's giving you nearly 10 points a game, shooting a higher percentage from 3 than he shot from the field last year. And then of course, Christian Braun, who has been the standout of the young core, going from averaging 7 points a game off the bench last year to now averaging 14 a night, shooting 57% from the field and 37% from 3. And Christian Braun is emblematic of this entire team. And what I mean by that is when you look at his field goal percentage, that is a result of 2 things. Having one of the greatest playmakers of all time on his team, and also the Nuggets playing at a much faster pace this year than they did last year, with the addition of Russell Westbrook. Obviously, Braun has done a great job cutting at the right time, getting out in transition, and using his combination of physical tools to finish around the rim, but every player on this roster is a threat from every spot on the floor when Nikola Jokic gets the ball. And the Nuggets have used this to dominate the paint on a nightly basis. Watch here where Jokic starts backing down Poeltl about 18 feet from the basket, and Braun spots Dick falling asleep, so he cuts backdoor for the finish. This is where Braun is making a living, feeding off Nikola Jokic's ability to find him on cuts to the basket or even hanging around the dunker's spot, and then getting out in transition, using his speed and smarts alongside Russell Westbrook to help turn this Nuggets team into one of the best fast break teams in the league. And we need to talk about Russell Westbrook. I mean, where do we even begin? 5 games into the season, you had people calling him the worst player in the NBA, washed, awful, every way you could slander a player. Russell Westbrook was receiving that slander, and not for the first time in the last few years. Well, we are now over halfway into the season, and Russ isn't just producing. This is the best contract in the NBA outside of rookie deals like Wemby's, and his fit on this Nuggets team couldn't have been more perfect. I mean, I imagined greatness with 2 of the all-time greats teaming up together, even with Russ at 36, but I didn't imagine the chemistry would be so phenomenal already. And it has reached a point where Russ is so impactful with his combination of playmaking, slashing, and defense that it's hard to see a world in which he isn't a permanent starter for Denver going forward. I mean, the Nuggets are now 17-5 5 with Russ as a starter this season. And I've already talked in depth about Russ, but just know, the impact he is giving this team relative to his contract is what makes the Nuggets a legitimate title contender. I'm being serious. As great as Jokic, Gordon, MPJ, and Murray sometimes is, it's the value you are getting from Russ that elevates this team. And from an on-court perspective, the reason he is so perfect as a starter is because alongside Jokic, all of his greatest strengths as a playmaker and as a cutter are amplified, and he doesn't need to take any shots that he's not comfortable. Look at the recent game against Philly, where he had a near triple-double in 3 quarters, only taking 5 shots and shooting 80% from the field. And he's been consistently happy taking 5 to 6 shots on a regular basis whilst playmaking for everyone on this team. And you could say the exact same about Nikola Jokic, who has somehow gotten better. I mean, can we just talk about the fact he has more triple-doubles before the 4th quarter this season than every other player in the NBA combined? And I don't know what else to say about Nikola Jokic. I've been talking about him ever since I started YouTube about 5 years ago, and it feels like every single season he finds a way to get better. And the rest of the world has now seen that when Nikola Jokic wants to put up 35 points a night, he can do that. But you are seeing what he prefers to do, with him averaging only 20 points over his last 5 games, choosing to let the likes of Strawther, MPJ, Murray, and Gordon all find their rhythm, as opposed to having to backpack the offense like we saw earlier in the season. And I just mentioned him then, but another big part of the Nuggets looking back to their best is Aaron Gordon. I think it's easy to forget just how important Aaron Gordon is. He might be the 5th option on nights offensively, but he's someone who can pretty much fill whatever role you need from him on a nightly basis. We saw this during their championship run, where he guarded the likes of LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, and Kevin Durant to Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards, and did a fantastic job on all of those players, with his rare combination of size, speed, and strength, which you don't even need to see him play to realize he has. I mean, guys, look at him. What a specimen of a man. Sorry, I'm getting off track, but Aaron Gordon, the basketball player, is just such a versatile piece for Denver. Look at him here chasing Hunter around a screen, staying attached to him, and then blocking his shot from behind. Or in this play where he's matched up against the shifty Schroeder, he gets low in his stance, sliding with Schroeder, before then swatting his shot out of bounds. You combine this kind of versatility defensively with his efficient scoring close to the basket and his added playmaking, and you get the perfect Swiss Army knife. We can talk about the inconsistency of Jamal Murray or the likes of KCP, Bruce Brown, and Christian Brown floating in and out of the starting lineup, but whenever Denver have had the combination of Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon healthy, they have been a great team, and Gordon is as responsible for that as any of the other guys, obviously not named Nikola Jokic. Now, if you want to hear me talk more about the impact of Russ on this Nuggets team, or even the X factor that is Peyton Watson, click here or click here. Most importantly, have a great day.